Good afternoon, everyone. What's more important, your food source or the economy? The scatter wave is here. All the explanations and excuses are in place why your food's going to get more expensive and you're not going to have as many choices. Because looking through history, we see these ebbs and flows, the rise of civilization, the contraction or collapse of civilization. They follow a pattern. One of the patterns is a loss of food production, depending on what the causation was, from massive cataclysm to simply what we're seeing now, jet streams going in their wrong positions, affecting rainfall, and the harvest, well, not as bountiful. So we're getting some clues into the Earth's definitely changed and we are on a new age, quote unquote, has been told to us. I totally agree. We got volcanoes rifting and splitting open many places on the planet. These rift eruptions are happening across most continents and the volcanic eruptions are getting much more intense along with the earthquakes. They say it's rocket launches. Is it really? We saw something around Tromsø years ago in the sky, and then we see 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, like every time. Supposedly it's a rocket launch, but is it really? We're starting to see unusual plasma displays in the skies. Massive earthquakes. This bridge, over 100 years old, fell during this earthquake. What is it after the dust clears? How many long-term events can you have? And we go to Bagan. We're talking 1,000+ years here of these pagodas and temples reduced to rubble. Like, what is going on with the intensity of things that have stood for a very long period of time, but are suddenly crumbling beneath our feet? And that should be a wake-up call as well. The seismicity in areas that haven't been hit this hard are also on a recurring cycle. So we look at the amount of volcanoes, volcanic eruptions, and the big thing is these earth cracks and these rift eruptions where it's not, large what you consider a volcanic eruption where it comes in, you get ash up however many thousand feet into the atmosphere. These are like needle punch holes through, and then the magma shoots out, oozes out, creeps out, however intense that pressure is below it. This is a new type of eruption happening far more than usual in unison across the planet. So something has changed with pressures, tectonics, and that all just spins back to electromagnetism. And food's really important for our civilization and society to keep moving forward. And now we have this talk of geoengineering, which makes no sense. It's a double-sided story here. State lawmakers are looking to ban non-existent trails as it could have real life side effects. So they're saying it's a hoax, it's whatever you believe, it's not real. And then the Guardian comes out and says UK's gamble on solar geoengineering, extremely dangerous. Well, and then other ones coming off from Wired magazine, a mysterious startup developing a new form of solar radiation management, solar geoengineering. Stardust. Wow, they're rubbing it in our faces, aren't they? And then because of what's falling out of these non-existent trails, aluminum is one of the big constituents, nanoparticulate aluminum, and lo and behold, it acts to reduce plant growth. Genetic engineering of aluminum resistance in wheat. Major food crop being stably transformed for greater aluminum resistance. What do you think it's doing to the bees as well? Think there's any effect on that and why we're losing our pollinators? What if I told you that groundbreaking studies have uncovered a therapy so powerful it's helping people achieve what was once thought impossible? Imagine having the energy of someone half your age, the skin of somebody 20 years younger. That's what thousands are experiencing with red light therapy. Whether you're battling chronic fatigue, stubborn weight gain, joint pain, autoimmune flare-ups, just minutes a day with clinical grade red light, it works by recharging your cell's mitochondria, like fueling billions of tiny batteries in your body. This is especially powerful for immune cells, which need massive energy to function at their best. That's why countless studies show red light therapy's incredible benefits. Not all devices are created equal. You need medical grade power and all 9 healing wavelengths, ensuring maximum power deliverability for deep cellular healing with no harmful EMF. Want to learn more? Go to myredlight.com, use the coupon code ADAPT2030 to get 10% off your purchase. One device serves the whole family and pays for itself in months. Don't settle for fatigue, pain, and premature aging. Reclaim your vitality with Red Life. So we're seeing it everywhere. Now this degradation of our ecosystem, there's many things in play here. Obviously, for the last 20 years, they're giving you one single excuse. But now we're coming over to the science side of it. We're looking at the sun, and we're starting to see an enormous amount of, magnetic field changes on our own planet. Does this have anything to do with it? Nobody's asking the question. If it is, then we are at the end of our current world. And the next thing that would have to be an excuse as to why your food's not going to be as available or why it's going to rise in price. Not because of the tariffs. It's because we're getting so many losses, so many on the grain crops around the world, the stable grain crops. Rice down 5 to 8%, oats down 8%, wheat 4%, corn 4%. This is global totals. Now they're going to need to explain again why your food's going to rise and rise and rise in price. And things are going to become unavailable. Lo and behold, the tariffs come right in time, as this, I think, is truly the year that humanity would notice the amount of crop losses, and that in turn would trigger a mass run on whatever people do when they panic with their money. This needs to be prevented at all costs. Hence the trade wars. The tariffs are inbound. But also, did you notice at the same time, I don't know if you did, Europe's moving to the central bank digital currency coming live October this year in 2025. Already planned on the books. Lagarde talks all about it. And the U.S. is moving to a stablecoin standard, which means I don't see the U.S. dollar in there. And then we have all these iconic retail brand store closures in unison. So something's gone terribly wrong with the expectations of people buying more goods. Macy's, Kohl's, Big Lots, Party City, and JCPenney shuttering all of its stores. The others are shuttering an enormous amount of stores. And lo and behold, as these trade tariff agreements came out, just days before that, breaking hedge funds sold the second largest amount of global tech stocks. Just days before this announcement came out, who would have known? They are just soothsayers. They are so lucky. During this market collapse en route, they have exited all positions and were able to make a fortune. Again, you could call it insider trading, call it what you want, but it seems like when these large market moves come, these hedge funds, banks, etc., are always ahead. They're always selling before the contagion event. So something like this would have said, sell everything in the stocks, not so much gold or precious metals or commodities, but in the tech side. If you were going to follow them, just follow the big moves of the biggest players. If they dumped all of that prior to that April 2nd was coming up, then they were in the know, and they were saved while everybody else crashed. Trillions wiped out. What does this lead to? Well, trade's going to be less robust. That includes your food imports, our food exports. Keeps more corn in the country, but most of that corn's GM was not really fit for human consumption. It was more for ethanol, sugars, production, that sort of thing, and animal feed. So we're going to have to rethink our seed supply in America as well moving forward. So now all of a sudden, these big walls go up between agricultural products coming across different nations. What will that do for your prices and the availability? See, it's just a perfect explanation. Not that we couldn't grow as much, because the magnetic field on the planet's changing and all these things. When a weakened magnetic field comes in on Earth, then all these other changes accompany it. Nope. It's because of the trade war. It's the tariffs. That's why your food's more expensive and it's not available. Don't look over there at the big yellow thing on the left. You're not allowed to. You know that. Been hit by the ruler for 20 years on the knuckles. You should know by now. But the safe haven, the same time Trump was announcing these tariffs for the world, look at gold went to $3,200 for the first time ever. Wasn't there long, though, as those tariff announcements came in. Look at this vertical monster here, hitting that 3,200 and dropping off just as quickly. Somebody ran for safety, and then they pulled back. But gold has been used for thousands and thousands and thousands of years as a safe haven. Silver as well. Land, and if you're able to grow your own food, all the better. Because I do believe the winners of all of this transition of society, you're looking at it right here. Good surf, good food, small community, working together to get things done. And perhaps that's the greatest lesson that we can learn is we need to rewind the clock, however many centuries or millennia, to go back and find some of this community again that's working together. You're going to be required to grow some of your own food through this. So watch the next announcements to be victory gardens or something along that same. They may not call it a victory garden. Maybe they'll call it a tariff garden or something to get us through this lean time. There's no way that we cannot move through this with higher food prices without at least the U.S. government telling us we need to grow some of our own food like we did during World War II. That's just a no-brainer. Food's going to get expensive and less available. But the excuses are already there. See, that's the thing. I'm just wondering how much longer it's going to be before they actually come clean and tell us as a planetary citizenry here that we're having trouble growing food, and this magnetic field shift is going to have less and less and less crop yields the further we move down this. That's the reason the economy is being restructured. It just can't hold. Like, we can't value things the same as we did prior to this because the productivity, the movements of goods, the actual production of crops is decreasing. So the whole world we knew cannot be valued the same. That's why it's moving to this new. But to go to the new, we need to destroy the old. So I don't know how many birds in one stone that would be. 3 birds in one stone, 4 birds in one stone. All of this happening in front of you, this scatter pattern wave, is at least 3 birds in one stone. Maybe more. If you do, leave it in the comment box below. I'd like to see how many birds we're getting with this tariff thing at the same time. I do appreciate watching. Hope you got something out of the video. Please share with your friend and family. And since it is planting season, True Leaf Market, heirloom and organic seeds for any grow zone on the planet. That link's in the description box below. Helps keep this channel on air. And also Civilization Cycle at TikTok. Join us over there for bite-sized nuggets of this same information. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.